Open up, Colorado. It's 420. Time to grind and burn.
This is not your son's stoner show.
Welcome to the Cannabis Community Project with Brainstorm. Once again, bringing you your weekly podcast from the CCP studios high up in Denver, Colorado. Here exploring the business side of this newly emerging Colorado economy, focusing on the business, the patient, the user, to the retailer, to the geek in the garage, creating that next innovation in cannabis. This is the first media platform to help fellow cannapreneurs build sustainable businesses while living the lifestyle. Hey cannapreneurs, this week's show is sponsored by Dairy Berry's Recording Studio. Muy buenas tardes, cannapreneurs, y bienvenidos a la Cannabis Community Project radio show. Good to have you joining me for another week of social rebellion. It's official. CCP is here for at least another year, as I just renewed my LLC with the state of Colorado. Hey, are you a startup? You have a business, a product? Have you registered yet with the state? Because if you haven't, whether you're doing a sole proprietorship, an LLC, a partnership, an S-Corp, whatever it is, you got to be a real business and a legitimate business. And it's so easy. Just go to the secretaryofstate.com. I don't know if that's the official email or website or whatever. Just Google it. Secretary of State, whatever state you're in. Here in the state of Colorado, I paid $50 to be an LLC. You can register trade names for a few bucks. You can do the whole deal. But what that does is it gives you an official document registered with the state. You get a tax ID number. You can open bank accounts under that business name. You can do business under that name. And when people look you up, they will find you. So make yourself a real business, just like we did. CCP LLC, it's official. We are in business. Cannabis. Hey, I am on cloud 9, maybe 9.5. All right, I'm on cloud 10 this week. It's been an awesome week. I'm in some serious talks with a potential sponsor, movers and shakers here in Denver. So much possibilities. I'll keep you informed on that. That is in negotiations coming up. I don't know, maybe this week and next week. Things move slow in the sponsorship world, right? But sponsors are very important. Advertising is very important. You know, a lot of people think advertising is an interruption of the content. Not here, not on this show. Advertising is very much a part of the content of what we do as anything else, whether we're interviewing an entrepreneur or talking to a patient. All I do is find people in this industry to network with. So when I bring you an ad or a sponsor, it's not like we're talking about sports and then we get an interruption to e-voice or audio books or something that's totally unrelated. These are businesses that are in this industry, selling products and services for you and me, stuff that actually benefits us in this industry. Not only that, we have to make money. We have to support the show. I mean, I know everybody wants everything to be for free, and that's what I'm trying to do, is make sure it's free to you as the listener, but somebody has to pay for it. And to do that, we have to all, as a community, give our thanks by being patrons to those advertisers, checking out the store, checking out their product, finding what's relevant, and using them as a connection to the store. The CCP store, check it out online. We're also going to have a new thing coming out this next week, the membership page. You ready for that one? This is for all of you dedicated listeners, not you guys who are just here once or twice or dropping every now and then, but you guys, youths, you know who I'm talking to, the ones who have been listening since the beginning or close to the beginning. There's a good handful of you out there. You know who you are. Some of you have made contact. Some of you are still waiting to make contact. Either or, there is a base of people out there who are dedicated listeners, fans, followers, friends, and so much more that you could be with this show. So make sure to look for it coming up. The membership page, just a couple bucks a year, is going to bring you discounts, everything in the store, t-shirts, hats, and a few other goodies in the goodie bag just for you, for being a dedicated, loyal listener, sharing our show, getting the content out there, helping us, and just being part of the community in general. So if you're listening, please don't just be a listener. Be an active listener. That means wherever you're listening from, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, wherever it is, tune in. I don't care where you listen. I want to ask a favor that you just find the subscribe or follow button on whatever media player you're on. Follow it, click it, subscribe it. This is so important. It's not just important for my ego to let me know that you're out there listening, but it's important that you leave a comment and you subscribe so I can show advertisers and sponsors that people are listening. So it gives me feedback and lets me know that the community is growing. And quite frankly, it's so easy nowadays. Wherever you're listening, just look down. The button is probably right there. Just push it. And if you got 2 extra seconds of energy, leave a comment. Unless you're like the guy who left the comment last week who gave me only 3 stars and said it was kind of a mediocre NPR or something. But if you got more than 3 stars to give me, leave me a comment and a star. That helps so much. And that will be the last groveling I'll do for at least a week. Hey, this week's show, we have a guest, or actually a couple, right? We have a couple of not a couple of guests, just a couple who's the guest from the East Coast. More East Coasters calling in, connecting with me, getting on the show. Growing Green Consulting. Look them up. This is a new startup entrepreneurial activities happening out there in Massachusetts. Not sure if I said that right, but sounds cool to say. Massachusetts. No, Massachusetts or Massachusetts? Man. Anyways, Growing Green Consulting came on, told us their story. We had a lot of fun, learned all about what's happening out there in this medical state with no operating dispensaries. Can you believe that? There's still a medical state that is not allowing dispensaries to open after all this time. We're going to learn about that. We're going to get all the ideas out of us that we have. Ideas are flowing. We talked, we had some fun. We talked about business, marketing, finances, politics, and even Batman. That's right, a little bit of Batman versus Superman. Oh, you're going to want to listen to the end. There's so much to get out of this interview. You know, like always, this is one more business that is out there teaching us all how to be a startup. What are you doing to survive? Listen in, because big or small or just still thinking of your idea, this is how you're going to beat the learning curve, is by hearing how other people are doing it. So, like always, we're going to get into that. But before we do, let's make sure to do last week's short-term memory relapse. Last week's show, I'm not even going to ask you to remember what it was. I'm just going to play it for you. Here we go. Welcome to the Cannabis Tech Denver's May meetup. Please check in at the table. Wednesday night, May 7th, downtown, 1415 Park Avenue West. Down here at the premier networking event.
Hey, how's it going? This is Soham Shah from the Cannabis Commodities Exchange. We are down here at Thrive Workplace, their new location in the Ballpark neighborhood, a couple blocks from Coors Field. We're here for our May monthly Cannabis Tech meetup, where we bring together the best from the cannabis industry, the tech industry, and the cannabis tech space. This is actually our 6th month doing this. Organized by CCX, Massroots, CannaBuild, a couple other companies. It's a lot of networking. It's also just bringing exposure to the fact that technology can play a very important part in the legitimization of our industry as we move forward, and how technology has kind of been avoided for years and years because the practice of cultivating or distributing or whatever it may be was illegal. So the idea was to not keep records and not have transparency, and now that that's changing, it's very disruptive to the existing practices that a lot of business operators are used to. So really just showing why it's valuable to have cannabis and technology, trying to bring people who are traditionally just associated with the cannabis industry and show them why they need to look at technology, bring people who are traditionally just from technology, show them why there's a lot of opportunity to be had in the cannabis space, and then just raise general awareness about our own companies and the Denver tech community. So we're going to start out with some general information about our meetup. We'll do a little intro of the 3 companies that plan this, CCX, Massroots, and CannaBuild. Then we'll have our venue sponsor, Thrive, say a couple words about what they do and their space. Then we'll go into our 2 sponsor presentations. Grow Buddy and Canopy Boulder. We will close it out with a couple kind of open intro type periods where one is for job announcements and the other is just to introduce yourself so that people have a little direction for the afterward session of networking. So we use our meetup page, Cannabis Tech Startup Denver, as our primary site. We also have Facebook and Twitter pages, and that's Canna Tech Denver. Thanks for coming, Brainstorm.
My name is Bradley, and I am a representative of Weedweiss, which is the first all-natural resin remover.
Hey, Jeff Dorn with Tradive.com.
Hi, my name is Connor Penhale. I'm the CEO and founder of Compliant Cannabis.
I'm Nick Brait with the Cannabis Commodities Exchange.
I'm Andrew from Compliant Cannabis.
I'm Micah Tapman from Canopy Boulder.
I'm Tim Delight, co-founder of Grow Buddy.
Hi, Megan Larson with Artistry.
Hi, my name is Jake Ryan. I am a front-end web developer.
I'm Eric with CPass.
Hi, my name is Mitchell Pash. I am a full-stack software developer.
Hi, hey, I'm Jeff Benedict, and I try and advocate for the uses of medical marijuana. I'm tired of everybody saying, hey, let's just get high, when there's all sorts of ways to use medical marijuana.
This show is streamed live from CCP Studios, but we can also do it via Skype, phone, and possibly some other technology ways. Let's just get you on the show. So if you have an idea, you have a business, maybe a product you've been thinking about, contact me. Brainstorm at cannabiscommunityproject.com.
Hello, my name is Mr. Green, and we are Cannabis Independent, an independent team of free thinkers united in bringing the facts and discoveries, working together to show you the aspects from science to culture of cannabis. We are not here to debate the opinions and issues, but to help the viewer's understanding of cannabis. All facts said in our segments are properly researched from various mediums, including articles, journals, and books. The coming weeks will be a brief overview of common forms and applications of cannabis, including dried buds, hash, oil, and tincture. Now, off to my teammates to review hemp and dried buds.
Hemp and dry buds. Hemp is a cannabis stalk and seeds used for a variety of products. This includes, but is not limited to, textiles, body care products, plastics, building materials, and detergents. Containing only 0.3 to 1.5% THC, they do not produce the substance tetrahydrocannabinolic acid, or THCA, because they lack the gene.
Buds are the dried flower buds of a mature female cannabis plant, which produces trichomes containing THC. This is considered to have medical, recreational, and spiritual uses. Generally, this is the most commonly used preparation.
We can be found on major social media pages, including Facebook, Vimeo, Twitter, DankDen, and Gmail under Cannabis Independent, as well as on the Cannabis Community Project podcast. We encourage questions, comments, and concerns to our pages for our future segments. We hope you enjoyed this segment. Tune in next time for an overview of Keith and Hashish.
Remember, I'm creating a store where right from the website, every business that you've heard about, every product that we've talked about, right from the website, as you're listening to my show, you're going to be able to view a page called Store where you will see every product and service that we've brought through the community. The Skunk Box. The Skunk Box is for any herb connoisseur. Why? Because it's the premier herbal humidor. Skunk Box increases the quality of your favorite herbs and saves you money by making them last longer. Store your favorite herbs for weeks without them drying out and losing their flavor and potent scent. Restore dried out herbs in just a few days and bring back the odor, flavor, and texture you love. Keep your herbs and accessories safe in the water-resistant, dust-proof, and odorless container, whether you're home or on the go. It's customizable, and here in Colorado, it's a locking container that is for when you are leaving centers or dispensaries with your product. You now no longer have to pay those few bucks for those cheap Ziploc bags that they're making you buy. Check them out on the Cannabis Community Project sponsor store, the Skunk Box.
What we decided to do is help people, teach them to learn how to do it themselves, to grow for themselves and create a community of people who are helping each other out. The whole idea behind our business is to create a community of people that just love and supports and helps each other grow and grow as individuals, grow our own medicine, grow an amazing community of just awesomeness everywhere. Big hippies.
Awesomeness everywhere. That's good. But we're not hippies, though. We're like tech hippies.
You want to count it down again?
3, 2, 1. Do like a Bruce Springsteen. 1, 2, 3.
All right. I'm Elizabeth Jenks, and I am from Growing Green Consulting, and you can cultivate with confidence in our community.
And hi, I'm Tim from Growing Green Consulting. We've been in business since April of 2015, helping people in our community for 2 years. And we plan to broaden our network and our community of medical patients and caregivers in the state of Massachusetts until the dispensaries open and
even beyond
and beyond and into the future.
So we're located in the state of Massachusetts. And right now in the state of Massachusetts, we voted to get medical marijuana legal 2.5 years ago. Dispensaries were supposed to have already been open, providing medication for patients. And unfortunately, in the 2.5 years, there's so much bureaucratic red tape and too many problems. Dispensaries are not open. And even though they keep giving us dates of future dispensaries opening, not one in 35 that are supposed to be open are open in this state yet. So it's providing, unfortunately, the state of Massachusetts has 14,000 registered patients in the state. And of those 14,000 patients, nobody is able to get safe, affordable access to their medication. What we decided to do is help people, teach them to learn how to do it themselves, to grow for themselves and create a community of people who are helping each other out. The whole idea behind our business is to create a community of people that just love and supports and helps each other grow and just grow as individuals, grow our own medicine, grow an amazing community of just awesomeness everywhere. Really big hippies.
Awesomeness everywhere. That's good.
I like that.
Yeah.
But we're not hippies, though. We're like tech hippies, you know?
You are. I'm not.
Well, I like that even better.
We're pretty high tech. We're all about energy efficiency.
Yes.
So we're pushing the limits of the future of cultivating medicine indoors by using energy efficient light bulbs. Here's just an example. We recycle the heat from our flowering tents to heat our basement in the wintertime. So, we save on our heating bill that way. We can teach people little tips like that they might not know. About educating people on a personal level, because most companies won't have a house call. They won't send a person to your home to speak to you about medicine and how it can help you, which we do. And people feel much more comfortable in their own home speaking about things where there's a big stigma on top of them in the state that we live in at the current moment. Everybody says that we're liberal and forward thinking up here, but everybody's stuck in the 1770s up here, man. It's a total different ballgame. We're very tech forward, but old school law. So we're caught in the middle, and we want to educate the people that are caught in the middle with us that are too scared to ask for help from who knows where.
we're not afraid to give the help. That's the big thing, is that we're not afraid to go public and say, we know how to grow marijuana. We grow marijuana ourselves. We grow it for our medicine. We can teach you how to do that. And it's not just about growing a plant so you can harvest the buds and smoke them and get high. Like, we raw juice. We use whole plant medicine. I use the roots, I use the stalk, I use the canopy leaves, I use the sugar leaves. We do it for so many different things. We have learned so much about this plant in our short amount of time with it. And it's such a beautiful, amazing plant that has been able to help heal and just help with so many things. And people just need to get their heads out of their butts and join the movement of being able to use a natural plant to heal.
Nice. I've been wanting to experiment myself with that more and more, the juicing aspect of raw plant.
Yes.
Obviously, price of plant is a factor in all of this. It's not something you can pick up at Costco like kale and spinach for $4.99 a 2-pound bag, which I do every week. Once there becomes an efficient way to do that, I definitely want to experiment with it, because I'm all about the smoothie and the kale shakes and everything else. Just going back to that conversation we had before about therapeutic ways of using cannabis that are non-consumption, the sitting in the grow room for therapy and being able to sit amongst a forest of plants and touch them and be amongst them is therapy, but it's a non-consumption type therapy. There's more avenues like juicing and other, well, I guess that's consumption, but not in a getting high type way consumption.
One of the great things, what a lot of people don't realize when I first say that I juice raw cannabis, I say I pluck the leaves right off the plants that I'm growing, and I throw them right in my smoothie with whatever fruit that I want to do. And I do yogurt, I throw in some hemp protein powder and some juice, and that's it. And that's what I have. And I'll tell you, I've been doing it for about 3 months now. And from what we've read, from the information that we've gathered on it, is that anywhere between 30 and 40 days is where you start to see your benefits. You want to raw juice every day. You want to start with just like 4 or 5 leaves, small leaves, just to kind of get yourself used to it. And then you can gradually build up. Once you hit between 30 and 40 days, you start to notice things like you're sleeping better at night. You're waking up better in the morning. I can't tell you how terrible I normally am in the mornings. It takes me a good hour to get out of bed. And now that I have been using cannabis leaves every day in a smoothie, I am up at 6:45, 7 o'clock every morning. The moment the birds start chirping, I'm awake, and I'm not yawning through the day. It's that energy, and it makes you feel you just have a great evenness and uplifted feeling of happiness. My body pain tends to just kind of not be an issue for me throughout the day. I'm not popping the Advil like I used to. And I just feel like a whole person, just wholly better. I don't get high from it. I'm not decarbing anything. I'm not burning anything. I'm plucking leaves off of a plant just like you could do with any other plant and throw them in your smoothie. And the great thing is that they're finding that consuming raw cannabis is helping children with autism. They're helping, you can get higher CBD strain plants, and you get those higher CBD strain leaves, and you're putting them in your smoothie. You're getting those medicinal benefits. And it's amazing it's amazing what this plant can do. And I think that everybody has the right to know, and I think that everybody should know that this plant can do amazing things for you as for medicine and just a whole way of life. It's been a life-changing experience ever since Cannabis and I met. And I love her every day.
The long relationship. Well, in your long relationship with cannabis, there's many discoveries that will come about. I mean, I'm part of the choir on this one for sure. I mean, is that one of the things that you're bringing forth in your business, is all these other aspects of what people do?
Yeah.
Or
yes.
Well, let's go into the specifics. So you're helping people grow, you're helping them build grow rooms, you're helping them do something once they've grown something.
Yes.
Yes, yes, and yes?
Yes, yes, and yes. Starting from
education first.
Yeah, you need to know about the plant. You need to know about what it can do for you. And you also need to tell us what you expect from this plant, what you expect from this experience. From there, we help you decide if you're going to grow indoors or outdoors. If you wanted to construct an actual room, we have licensed contractors that can come to you. You're not going to have a truck driving down the street that says, "We are here to set up your pot shop." up. I mean, there's consulting businesses throughout the state that helping other businesses and some patients set up their grow rooms, but they have, signs all over everywhere. We're discreet. We don't have the signs and the bells and the whistles that say, look at us, look at who we are. We're discreet, we're family friendly, and we know what it's like. We have 2 kids of our own. We know what it's like to need to be discreet, and we know what it's like to need to also be open and honest.
And to provide an education.
So it's not just us sitting there saying, here's a plant, here's some dirt and water, have at it. It's learning about how to set up what the best way is going to be for your actual way of life, because every single person is an individual. You're going to have some people who want to grow outside, or some that grow inside, some who don't care. They can have plants on their dining room table, others that need to hide it from their kids for whatever reason, or from their in-laws, who knows. What we wish to do with this business is to be able to help people have that confidence to have their medicine growing in their home and know that it's legal and know that it's safe and they know what they're doing. Tim can tell you one of the great things that we have happening, which is the 24-hour service.
On-call plumber type thing?
On-call garden support, where we would provide a service. Say you're like me. Say you're a neurotic gardener and you need to check your garden all the time, like from the moment you wake up until the moment you go to sleep. And you go in there and you have a 400-watt HPS bulb that just burnt out on you, and you're in the middle of your flowering cycle, and it's 93 degrees out, and it's humid because it's Massachusetts. And yesterday it was 65, but today it's 93. What do you do?
Who do you call?
Who do you call? You don't call Ghostbusters.
You can't call the hydroponics store.
You can't call the store.
I like the idea. You need some type of red phone type service or something to go
like
with that.
Batman phone.
Yeah, right.
It's a green phone.
Well,
Yay!
it's totally a green phone. Yeah.
Yay!
We used to have that red phone.
I could see an app being developed, like the green phone app or something, where somebody from their smartphone can push the app and get a direct connection to you. It'll automatically turn on a camera, so as you're en route to their location, they can start sending you video and pictures. And
boom! Look at this, man. This is like this is Batman meets gardening.
Right? Because, I mean, you got to have a technology play in what you're doing. I mean, nobody feels safe about a company that doesn't have a technology play. As one of our representatives is en route to your house, they are being downloaded to their vehicle pictures and images with a full report. So when they arrive at location, you think of like the fixer from like Pulp Fiction, or
the wolf,
right? So when you show up, can just be like, so I understand we have one burned out light. You and you. I need you to get me a bucket of water. You a towel.
That's beautiful.
No, but I mean, you gotta. Everybody needs a good slogan. I mean, for years I could see some T-shirts, with like, "Are you juicing?" or "We're on the juice."
We're on the juice. Oh man.
Have you juiced yet today? Some type of thing going. The point I'm bringing up here is consulting a standalone product that's enough to sustain a company with what you're doing, or do you have to work in multiple avenues of revenue where you're going to have some products along with services and some additional activities that happen, or is consulting enough? I mean, do you work as a pair or do you work individually? Is this something where you could hire out subcontractors to do at minimum wage? What's the long-term look on how this grows?
The long term is to have a storefront where people can come in and sit down and have an appointment face to face if they're more comfortable with a storefront, because there are going to be some people, I'm sure, who don't want to have strangers coming to their home right away. One of the things that we offer, it's not just show you how to harvest your buds, you're cured, you're done. After that, what I have taught people and what I do know how to do is I know how to cook really well with it. And it's making edibles, tinctures, making oils, coconut, like infusing coconut oil, teaching patients how to do that. Because again, it's a different form of consumption. It's a different way to be able to use the medicine. Right now, I'm actually using cannabis oil. If you could see me, I have a coconut cannabis oil mask on my skin, like on my face, because I'm dealing with a breakout from this wonderful weather. It's teaching people how to use this plant in different ways, and it's before, during, and after. I can come to your house and teach you something that takes a half an hour.
You brought up a good point. This idea of this trust factor that you're dealing with people's intimate
Yes.
insides of their home and
Yes.
with some sensitive issues. So I guess the question I have is, do you currently have a vetting procedure in place that can be reflected back to potential clients to show people that not only are you have an expertise in this area, but you're putting yourselves and anybody you work through an intensive vetting process to make sure that there's some credibility and security?
Well, everyone in our network, like our contractors to the laundry list of people,
right?
They're all personal friends of ours. We can all vouch for them and have worked with them professionally or on a personal level for years.
They all have professional records.
And they're all professionals
expertise.
in their own skills or trades.
So from a marketing standpoint, how is that reflected back to the customer or potential customer with documentation to gain that trust and security, or is it just a verbal?
It's a verbal.
Right now it's verbal.
And then it's a direct connection with the client, the potential client, and the potential contractor. We would give them the contractor's information, and they can contact them or look them up on their own to verify or to, check them out.
Also, as we grow as a company, right now it's Tim and I. It's doing the legwork, and then we have our friends who we can reach out to in our network. So right now it is small, and as our business grows, as our client base grows, as our experience grows, as our community grows, it's just going to continue to get larger and larger. And I think what's going to happen is that our clients are going to be treated like family, just like our friends are treated like family. It's going to be a whole community of people that I think people
have an urge to want to trust rather than be skeptical.
People do tend to trust. Tim and I tend to have a pretty good radar on people. That's something that we actually pride ourselves on. We can tell the good people, and we can tell, and I know a lot of it is just verbal and a lot of it's just intuition, but the thing is that this whole marijuana industry is brand new and people have to start from somewhere. So why not start with the people that you know, and then you go from word of mouth and you just expand your community that way. That's how it's going to have to be done. In all essence, you're not going to have all of these underground growers and underground construction people for growers coming out of the woodwork and saying, look at me, I've been doing this for 30 years and now I'm going to be out in the open. People aren't doing that. What we're experiencing here is black market people still wanting to remain black market, which ends up creating trust issues already. With having someone like Tim and I being able to come into your home and sit down and talk to you on a one-on-one level where it's a sacred space, and like creating that sacred space with that person, if we're on a really good wavelength, to sound like a hippie, if we're on the same page, I think that anyone that we would recommend to them, they would have the trust in us. We wouldn't steer them in the wrong direction. I mean, that's the whole point of them coming to us to begin with.
You also have an expertise in the construction part of
yes.
growing. So explain that a little bit. When you go into a person's home, are you evaluating not just the cost of growing, but the potential of remodeling a room or having to do permanent restructuring? Do people ever get hesitant about putting in-home grow houses? I mean, obviously in Colorado, we have a little less to fear.
But a little bit.
A lot of people that we work with tend to just go for like a tent setup. They like to go with like a 4x4 tent setup with like, a 600 watt HPS. I don't know. The Tim gets all technical with all that stuff. That's where I'm like, whoa, I can't handle that.
No, but you're correct.
Yes.
Most people in New England that we've experienced generally go with tent setups indoors. Lots of people construct indoors as well, and that's why we have a master carpenter for that who builds beautiful hidden cabinetry. You can make an old wall be like a Batman cave behind it, and you'd never know it. So yeah.
I can tell you're into Batman. You've made a lot of references.
I do. He's my favorite.
Well, I like Batman too. He's one of my favorites because he works at night. I like the night better. He's dark and mysterious, which is a little better than just being kind of a goody Superman-y, wanting to save the universe type thing. That's a little too
shade.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's just a guy. He's a regular guy. He made a bunch of stuff to make him cool. That's awesome.
Right, exactly. He just he kicks ass out of anger, not out of some type of obligation for mankind. And
exactly, it's all about spite.
Let's do a hypothetical. So
sure.
I just got a card. I can grow 12 plants on my own. I've been buying from a dispensary. It's been running me probably somewhere between $200 and $300 a month, maybe even $400 a month. You know, going through maybe an ounce and a half, buying pretty good quality stuff. And now I'm thinking about maybe going to grow some indoor stuff. I just bought a house, so I got a good location. I got an extra bedroom, maybe a basement. I call Growing Green Consulting. What am I going to expect as far as expenses, time, overall yield? What general picture can you put together that sums it up in like a minute or so?
Well, those are all questions that are variable dependent on the patient's needs, the patient's home.
And you can grow up to 12 plants. I mean, depending on the type of strain that you are growing.
Well, Colorado law allows me as adult 21 and older to grow 12 and have a 6 mature 6. I can have up to 12, but they have to only be half and half.
Okay.
So based on that, not that I necessarily need 12.
If you have the limit, we teach people to grow right up to that limit or right under that limit. Because
why not?
Why not?
Well, because you're given that right in this country or in the state that you're in. So of course you need to utilize that right and express that right. So let's say you need an ounce and you can grow 6 in veg and 6 in flower. What I would say would be you want to make those plants as big as possible to gain the most yield from each plant. If you're only allowed 6 in flower at one time, you want to fill that whole tent with flowers. All the questions, like the cost of each thing?
Well, not the cost of each thing. Here's the main question. If I'm spending $250 to $350 a month in a dispensary, am I going to spend any more than that producing my own grow at home?
No, absolutely not.
If you're looking at doing, 6 and 6, you could have like 2 tents that are like a 3x3 tent in this small room. If you wanted to, you could just get a couple of tents. You could get a couple of lights and a couple of fans. You could have yourself set up with a flowering tent and with a veg tent.
I mean, your initial cost, it's going to be
high. You're probably going to spend about $500 or $600 for your initial setup. But once you have that initial setup, you're running just for a small amount of plants. You're not really going to see that much of a dramatic increase in your electric bill. So you're probably running an extra maybe $20 to $30 a month for your electricity. And then that's it. You've got a good about a 3-month turnaround from the time that you plant your first seed, if you're starting from seed, to 4 months.
Yeah, let's be honest here.
About 4 months. Yeah, before curing and then finally consumption. So you're looking at 4 months of being able to wait for your medication to grow. So yes, you are going to be having an initial cost. You are going to have to sustain those plants for 4 months while you're still purchasing your medicine from a dispensary from somewhere else. But then once that 4 months hits and you have those 6 plants that have flowered, and now you've got them cut and cured, and they're cut, dried, and cured, then you've got your medication
for months to come.
Yeah. And as long as you continue that cycle of 6 and 6, every, however long you flower your plants, you can really set up that cycle if you've got 2 tents going.
That's the basic structure of the grow.
Mm-hmm.
Now include your consulting. Where does that work into the picture?
We offer in-house garden support as well. Someone such as myself would go into your garden and check on it and make sure things are going well. If you have a question, you call and I come over. We have a couple of different structures that we're working on. One would be like a weekly visit where we would schedule a time, like let's say Mondays at 3 is the best time for you. I would come at Monday at 3 and spend an hour to an hour and a half with you. Just do gardening with you and make sure that everything is working well. Or there could be other packages where we check in on you once.
Every 2 weeks, every month.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever works for you. And basically what we want to do is we want to help anyone who could use the help. And even if they can't afford the high price, we can work with them to bring the cost down. We could work on a sliding scale if people are in low income and they simply can't afford things.
But they want to learn how to grow, and they're, not concerned. There are plenty of people who don't have the ability to even leave their homes. They don't have a car. They don't have transportation or the support, the means to be able to go to a grocery store to get their own supplies. Part of our job, if there's a patient like that, we can help them by going to get those supplies. We are planning on just sticking with a sliding scale, because what this all comes down to is we're not looking to make millions of dollars. We are 100% realistic in saying we know we can't quit our day jobs. We can't just, put all of our money and all of our bank into this. Not right now.
Right.
In the future, I see us being able to do that. I see us being able to sustain the life that we have. We live in a nice home in a nice neighborhood. We're fortunate in what we have, and we want to be able to sustain with what we have, to sustain what we have. And in order for us to do that, we want to be able to help as many people as we can at a price that both we as a company, we as a couple, and our clients can all afford.
So it's not just a service for those who have the luxury of having private greenhouses and grow rooms in their large mansions and that type of service.
They want to give me that money. I'm not going to say no.
Yeah, we'll gladly help them and take their money.
Well, but I mean, there is how many resources can be divided between two people.
Right.
How big of a group can it get before eventually you're stretched to the point where all of a sudden weekly house visits are just not an option? I mean, eventually there's going to become a point where more questions will have to be asked and decisions made about, what focus do you take and how do you do it? Can you farm this out to a minimum wage worker?
Right.
What type of service? Is it a service that do you need to be in person? Is a smartphone camera enough to do a weekly checkup on a grow? I'm sure there's all sorts of things that eventually as you grow, logistics are just going to become difficult and you're going to have to work out some of those issues. But until then, what is the main focus as far as marketing goes? Are you doing this all underground or in just word of mouth? Are you actually trying to put together a public campaign?
So we have these really awesome business postcards. And the first thing that we did was we printed 500 of them, and we went to this event in our area called Extravaganza that was on the 18th of April, and we handed out about 250 of those postcards. Extravaganza is an event that is held once a year on a town common that's put on by the University of Massachusetts Cannabis Coalition, and they've been doing it for, I believe, 26 years, and there were thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people there that day.
10,000?
And we were just handing out these business cards, just talking to people, talking to recreational users, to medicinal users, to people who don't use it all, who were just curious to find out what the whole deal was. So we're doing things like that. It's like we're going to events like that. We're talking to people.
Can I ask what the cards were? Because you said they were like special cards. Is that what you said?
Yeah. So it's just a postcard, and on one side it has our business information. It just says Growing Green Consulting with our website, and on the back of the postcard, it's got our tagline that says "Cultivate with confidence in our community," and then it's got the Massachusetts state law that tells people that the department shall issue a cultivation registration to a qualifying patient whose access to a medical treatment center is limited by verified financial hardship, a physical incapacity to access reasonable transportation, or the lack of a treatment center within a reasonable distance of the patient's residence. We have 35 dispensaries that were approved in this state, and not one has been opened in 2.5 years. Yet people still pay the fees to be registered, to be legal users of medicinal marijuana, and there are no places for anybody to get the safe access. Teach people how to grow that medicine for themselves in a community of people that want to help. That's just what it comes down to, is being able to help as many people and have those people help other people. We're not trying to hide information. We're trying to give out as much as we can and hopefully make some money to sustain a good life for ourselves, in return.
But wait, you're not saying all of that is written on the card, right?
No, I'm sorry. It stops at the state law. I'm sorry, love. I tend to go off. I'm sorry.
Okay. I was like, wow. What kind of font is that you got printed?
Well, you know what it says? It says underneath the state law, it says Growing Green Consulting can give you the confidence in cultivating your own medicine. From setup to post-harvest consumption, our consultants are here for you. Check out our website for more information on how you can join our community.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Oh, Can I give you another idea for a business card?
Yeah.
Since you're kind of in, I guess I got this idea when I was at a TEDx event last year. You know what the TEDx events are?
Oh, yes.
TED Talks. So I was at one of them, and their little lanyards and their name tags. So you write your own name, or they're just little TEDx little logos on them, and on the back it says, after the event, plant this in the ground, and it has seeds embedded into the card, and when you plant it, a flower or plant grows up. So you could have a business card with all of your information, and then say, right, and then have like seeds embedded into it, not cannabis seeds.
No. We could do like a companion plant, like lavender or something.
And then and you could have like a little tagline, like, we believe in a natural cycle of life or something. Plant this after you've recorded our information, and you might have to figure out like how do people actually keep the information.
Tear off this part.
Right. You might want to have a sticker tear off, or maybe have like a QR code where they can just zap the information onto their phone or something. But then have them like plant your business card and have it grow a little plant or flower out of it.
That's genius.
Right. Well, it's not really my idea. I just stole I was at, like I said, they were doing it
at the TEDx.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I'm just adapting it to anybody that has a relevant.
But this is relevant, so that's perfect.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's a company out there that makes them by the batches, where you can buy like a whole batch of cards and just have whatever you want printed on them. And so you just print your business information on one side, and then just have, choose your seed, dandelions or whatever. Have them print. Maybe there's a Massachusetts state flower. Maybe you can get a seed of that, right? Have a state flower grow out of it, or something.
I have no idea what it is.
I mean, or a hemp seed. I think hemp seeds you can legally transport around all states.
Interesting. That's something. That's something to look into.
I'm a believer in the business card. I think business cards are still relevant and very necessary. You'd be surprised though that I meet people all the time. Be like, no, I don't have a business card. And I'll be like, well,
you should.
How do I get a hold of you? That was
the first thing we did.
But I mean, I'll ask them. I'll be like, well, how do I get a hold of you after this moment in time right now?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you can find me online.
Well, not if you're not thinking about it with a thing in your hand, because you're going to forget.
But it's the idea of putting work back onto the person that assumably is prospect, right?
Right.
You're throwing the work back onto them, saying, oh, well, you want to buy from me? Well, look me up online.
Yeah. It's pretty rude.
It is. It is rude, It's like, hey, at least have a business card. I mean, Vistaprint from 1995.
Yeah, exactly. Vistaprint. Exactly.
We have these postcards, and we carry them with us everywhere. along with our books, along with our small library in a knapsack. And we just really like to talk to people about educating them and letting them know what they can do and what their rights are in this state. Beyond that, we have a website.
Why don't we give that website out? And it's a beautiful website. People really have to go and check it out. You designed it yourself?
We did. A friend of ours, Liz's best friend, designed it based on a template from an indie developer that we purchased, and we kind of pieced together our own version of a website.
So you have control of you said those side panels, the way when you scroll up and down, how it comes together and goes apart?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How much control do you have over that design?
Oh, all of it. You
really?
can change the speed. You can change the saturation.
Could you do this? Have you ever been to the Seattle.com website?
No.
You should check that out sometime. So their website is, the Needle Tower building?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So as you scroll, it's counterintuitive. So instead of scrolling down, you actually scroll up.
That messes me up every time.
But as you pass certain parts of elevation, information appears. So I'm wondering if you could have like a scroll where as you scroll up, a plant like grows and then leaves pop out the side, like the way you have the boxes coming together.
Totally. That's a killer idea.
So as you're scrolling up, the plant's growing and then a leaf will pop out with a bit of information. Right, and then you scroll up a little bit more, and off the other side, a leaf pops out. The same way you have it now, but
oh my god,
that's really cool.
That's amazing. I'm like dying over here.
No, we gotta tell our Our designer.
Our designer who's going to curse the living hell out of us.
Are you one of those people that every 30 minutes you're sending them an email for
No, she's good. No, she's
a correction and an update?
She's my biffle, my best friend for life. I love this girl, and she's really good. And I said biffle. But she's really good. She and I work together, just really well. Just in general, we just work really well together, and we share a lot of the same ideas for creative styles and whatnot. So it was easy to convey to her the idea that we had, and it was easy for her to be able to convey our idea.
So we kind of groaned because we're going to say, "Hey, check out this idea,"
and she'll want to do it. That's the problem.
And she'll go, "Oh God, now I have to do it."
Well, ideas. I'm a firm believer in ideas. I mean, this is what I think it's all about. But I mean, speaking of ideas, whose idea was this business? Yours?
It was both of ours.
Both of ours.
Spontaneously, you both woke up in the middle of the night and stared at each other and said, "Consult and grow business."
No, actually, for years and years, I said, we'll never open another business.
After our video store,
because we owned a video rental store back in the day, and we closed in 2010, and now we have children, and we grew up and got other jobs. And I said, I'll never own another business, never own another business. And then circumstances changed, and we found that we had all sorts of creative business ideas from using cannabis. The ideas just flowed out of us all the time. We had about...
We still do.
They still do. But we had about, 40 or 50 different business type ideas. Before we said, we just really want to help people. How can we help people in the most direct way to affect their lives? And this just fell into place. It just kind of happened that way.
No, I mean, without being sarcastic, because I mean, everybody's picturing, I'm sure you have lots of ideas while you're getting high, and they're picturing, if you ever seen Jon Stewart's character in Half Baked, hey, have you ever written a term paper on weed? Where everything is on weed makes it better kind of deal. I have a lot of ideas, obviously, when you're medicating or recreationally using, it's a natural occurrence of just what it does to you. What happens when you get an overdose of cannabinoids? Your brain starts to get active. But how do you take those ideas and put them into action with a hyper focus? Because you can't act on every idea. And even wealthy billionaires don't have the resources to act on every idea. So how did you actually narrow these ideas down to where you are today? And where is that going to carry into the future?
We started this kind of off the books, if you will, a little more than a year ago. And we started noticing that cannabis not only was helping, myself, I was already a believer in cannabis at that point, helping me medicinally. We were starting to see results with our friends and our family who started seeing the results with us. We started seeing the results with them. And we just knew that the more that cannabis was part of our lives, the more that we got into our growing and into just all the research, we just started seeing all of the benefits that this plant could do for so many people. And we wanted to tell people, we wanted to help people learn how to do it for themselves.
Well, and here's the deal. Every time someone would come over our house, family or friends, it turned into Cannabis 101 with Tim and Liz. We were just educating people. Every single person that comes in our house is they're like, oh boy, they're going to talk about cannabis and how good it is for you and how you don't have to get stoned and all this stuff. So it turned into a real classroom type setting. I'm educating all of our friends and family, and everybody kept saying, man, you could teach classes on this. You could teach people how to do this. You could do this. You could do this. And then we said, wait, we are doing that. Why don't we make an actual business out of this? And we know how to start a business because we started the business, our video store back in 2005, wrote many business plans, visited lots of locations, dealt with all sorts of industry market analysis. Like I said before, I'm a nerd, and I really nerded out on the cannabis industry. And by following your show, by following a bunch of other cannabis podcasts and news related sources, I realized, both of us realized, we need to be in this industry at the ground level. And the best way that we know to be in there is to do the thing that we do best. What we do best is we talk to people. We convey our ideas through personal interaction. And I know this is on, this is over the airwaves. So it's not the same as being in person. When you're in person, you have that connection, and you can teach people in a different way than you can using a book or using a video or using a classroom setting. You just learn differently. And especially people that don't have the social ability to reach out to someone or have someone in their lives to teach them, we can definitely be that person or fill that void for them.
That is great. I mean, that's awesome to hear. So, I mean, basically what I heard you say is you started the business illegally and you owe a bunch of back taxes.
Pretty much. Yep.
You were stoners in front of your family until they forced you into business to stop talking about it.
Yes.
And you're a fan of the show. That's pretty much what I got from this conversation.
Done. Yep. You don't even need a show. It's perfect. You just need to say that little disclaimer. I was talking to these people. You don't even need the interview. This is all you need. A couple of stoners with an idea.
No, in all seriousness, coming up on close to an hour of talking here, I feel like I've really gotten to learn about your business and what you're all about. I think you guys should really think about maybe going to a Washington or Colorado and just
Dude,
jump in.
You have no idea, man. It's a lot. Like, if we can talk on a personal level.
As opposed to our former professional status.
Here's my investigative reporting. Is your name Jay?
No.
Damn it.
Why would you think
it was good? I thought I figured it out.
Why would you think my name is Jay?
From a Facebook post a wicked long time ago of you. Like a wicked long time ago. It's a picture of you and somebody. And I thought for some reason somebody commented on it and said blah, 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 Jay. And I was like, oh, his name's Jay.
I know a few Jays, and there's probably some things posted that I've done a show with Jay Statzer, the Ibogaine guy.
The Ibogaine one?
Yeah, he's Jay Statzer, and I did a show with Jay's son, who we called Jay, who was the guy who was talking about his alcohol use and his own story with cannabis. But no, my name is not Jay at all. So is that your way of asking what my name is?
Yeah, because we don't even know your name, man.
My name is...
all right, nice to meet you.
You can find me on Facebook. And what was that?
That's such a badass name.
Oh. Sorry, you cut out on the ass part. All I heard was bad.
It's an ass name.
All I heard was bad.
No.
That's a bad.
It's a bad. It's a bad ass.
Like structurally bad, like it sounds bad, like
terrible.
Bad because of where it falls in the alphabet. I'm always picked last in the lineup of things. Or
Oh, sorry.
Thanks for listening to this week's show. Make sure to come back next week. We're going to have more guests lined up, speaking with dispensary owners, growers, business owners. Make sure to follow us on all of the social media, Facebook, Google+. You can listen to our shows live from the website or your preferred listening platform. Find us on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spreaker, even YouTube, all under the same name, CannabisCommunityProject.com. We'll see you next week.